People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, with that being said, Liverpool have just defeated Arsenal 3-1. And yeah, man, the beauty of playing teams like this is there's no hiding place. When you get a little result against West Ham and you look superb against Fulham, and that's off the back of, obviously, credit to Arteta since he's come in, you know, his positivity has been infectious, and he's a very good manager, and he's a match made in heaven. And obviously the last 2 cups we've won, this has all led to a positive effect, and that's great. But that airs complacency, and I don't think many fans do, but for the fans that had a false image of our team and the level they weren't at, this is a rude awakening. Not even rude, this is a rude awakening. For me, I spoke about not conceding cheap goals. Every goal was handed to Liverpool. You didn't make Mane show his quality. You didn't make Salah show the quality if he was to score, which he didn't. You didn't make Firmino show why he plays for them, you know. You handed goals to them. Handed. The third goal, calamity from, you know, Salah does very well to keep it alive, and Trent obviously put the ball in the box, but it's calamity to allow that. Calamity of a header from David Luiz. The first goal, absolutely appalling. Xhaka and Luiz, if you're going to bring man down, bring them down. You know, that Tini had a poor game as well by his own standards. At shambles, Leno made a bad boy save for Mane to deny Mane before that. I might be being a bit harsh on Leno because I need to watch the goal again, but I felt initially he kind of flapped at it and he could have done a lot better, and it's in the path of Mane. Nobody is following runners. Robertson's goal again, same thing, you know, 3 cheap goals, you know, 3 cheap goals, a lack of real belief that they could ever win this match, always getting stuck on the feet, we're playing 5-yard passes. We've got to defend, you know, we're going to defend, we're going to concede possession. We've done this in the last few big games and been successful. The major difference was, when we had the possession, we actually believed we could harm the team. We're not playing it, we're playing hot potato and whatnot. And it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for us because we haven't got a team where we can say 2 banks are for, we're keeping a clean sheet. We can't do that. So we need to show something. It also showed the I don't want to say immaturity, because I can't see one young player on that field. Like, there wasn't a Maitland-Niles at a push. There's not one young player on that field, really, you know. It showed a lack of maturity in terms of game management, you know. Game management when you're going to go down at 2-1 to try and get back in it, not let your heads drop. For me, at 1-0 is the most important one, because at that point, it should have been like, okay, we haven't been at our best. We've been a bit toothless. Let's pattern up, boys, you know. Everybody do their job. Let's rein it in a bit. Because you saw Liverpool just managed the game in the second half, people. They just simply managed that game in that second half. And they didn't force it. You saw Firmino, there was one lovely incident in the last 9 minutes. He was going to go forward. He said, actually, Van Dijk thing. And they just passed it and played between themselves and played between themselves and played between themselves, because they knew we're chasing this game. We'll play right into their hands and gaps will open. And they did exploit that, you know. Liverpool didn't have to be at the best, you know. I can't understand what we did, because, like I said, game management, lack of belief. It's just going against common sense, you know. You've got Trent and Robertson, you know they're central to Liverpool's game plan or how they want to play or if they're going to win. Why are you allowing them to cross it? Why are you allowing this? Why are you allowing Mane to go 1v1 versus your teammate? Why are you not following your runners off the ball? You know, why are you not clearing the ball convincingly? It was crazy, man. It was crazy. And I think tactically for Arteta, he's learnt a lot. You know, Lacazette struggled out there to a degree. I won't say struggle. It was a one-man job. You know, I'm not going to criticise Aubameyang on the flanks because it's been working. But games like this, you do have to... I know that thought goes through everyone's head. Yo, let's put him through the middle. You know, William was a bit shaky in the last game. Arteta's retained faith and William will have his positive games this season, but he probably hasn't got a leg to stand on in terms of starting in the Premier League. He's had 2 poor games now. You'd love to imagine Pepe should be given a chance, or Saka should be reinstated now, really and truly. Shout out to El Nene. I think El Nene played a 5 out of 10 sort of thing, people. But you know, his gameplay is quite limited, so he was kind of drowning in there. Xhaka just never got going. I thought Ceballos should have played. Now Ceballos ain't no messiah, and it probably would have been the same result. But at least there's a bit of energy. At least, you know, like I said, you can defend and we can, you know, we have to defend. That's the majority of the game. But when we get the ball, man have to want it. Ceballos wants it under pressure. Whether he's frustrating or not, he wants it. That's not El Nene's skill set. I'm focused on El Nene because I knew Xhaka was starting regardless. And I'm not going to turn on Xhaka car. Xhaka's been, Xhaka isn't necessarily my cup of tea per se. Xhaka would be a squad player for me. I do like him as a footballer. But I do think he's been in relative good form for a number of games now. So I'm not going to turn my back on him based on this game. But I will say it does show his deficiencies. It does show his limitations, like with a lot of players. And when Arsenal, when you take shortcuts, this happens. But focusing on the game, people, going into it, like I said, first 20 was shaky, people. First 15, Liverpool should have been a goal up. Klopp should have been onto them. They should have killed the game in the first 15. Leno had to make a big save for Mane. People are not following their runners again. I have to mention that. Big save, big tackle from Bellerin and Holding in an instance. Big header from Luiz. There was heart and mouth moments. We knew that was going to happen. First 20, I thought they were going to score. It didn't look like, I don't know if Arteta said don't press together or let the centre-halves have the ball and then we'll press when it gets into our areas. But I wasn't impressed with the press. We're sitting back too much. Van Dijk and Gomez are defenders, but they sure as hell like to play. In training, they must be two of the best strikers in the world in training. They want to play. Van Dijk was having fun. Split passes across the defence. We're not picking. If we're going to stay, if we're going to drop off, then we need to guard against it. We're playing free at the back. Liverpool, if anything, are going to exploit the spaces between the back three and the fullbacks. Lock it down. Plus Van Dijk, he just wants to hit Salah or whatever, Then Robertson get round them and then or put the ball into the box. Why are we allowing that? This game plan, we're allowing midfield runners. We're not stopping the cross. We're not doing anything. Very few players were showing fight. I feel Lacazette tried. He looked knackered, and it's a myth against Van Dijk. Aubameyang, they're always going to make sure they locked him down. He was anonymous today. Willian, decision-making, appalling. Holding had a couple of good moments, but a bit of a train wreck, as was David Luiz. Tierney a 5 out of 10. He regained himself in the first half, but it was his poorest game in an Arsenal shirt, and not to flip-flop on him, he's a quality player, simple as. He had a bad game. Phil Maitland-Niles did his thing. The one benefit is when we went a goal ahead, like you saw, we had a tough 20 minutes. We deserved to be 3-4 down. We got our goal. It was a scrummy. It was a good move, but playing out from the back, but it was a scruffy goal. Xhaka plays it forward aimlessly. Lacazette's kind of slipping. He pulls it to Maitland. Do you know why I'm happy with Maitland? Because at that period there was no one showing for the ball or no one making forward runs. Maitland from a left back. Maitland is limited in that sense going there. He's not a left-footed man. We know it's going to be a hit and miss with his delivery. He's making that run just for a ball for Luiz. There was one he was offside, but just making that run. Who else is trying that? But back to this, it falls to Maitland. He puts the ball into the box, so it's lacking quality. It should be cut out. Robertson's had a Sunday League moment, and Lacazette's also had a Sunday League moment. It's been a missed kick from Robertson. It's a missed kick from Lacazette into the net. Lacazette won't care because it's his third Premier League game, third goal. It's always nice to score in a big game. Further keeping up the Lacazette is a big game folklore and whatnot. And it is what it is. We'll take that. At that period, we should have said, like I just said, we're playing crap. Liverpool were going to score before this. They're going to be hungrier because them players know Klopp is going to be onto them at half-time. I think Klopp was the benefit. The one thing them players did is go into that half-time at 2-1. And I still think Klopp teared into them. Not because we're good, it's because, one, they're not killing off the game. Two, they're enjoying it a bit too much. And I think when we went 1-0 ahead, it showed how football is, You can have no chances. The team has hella chances, hella corners, hella this, that and the third. And then we go and score. We're still immature in terms of game management. Like I said, I felt there was too much spaces in the midfield and in the spaces where our centre-halves were. I didn't think enough men wanted the ball, and when they did, they weren't there. We had to defend for large periods, and we were undoubtedly under the cosh by Liverpool, As expected, they dominated, but like I said, we're not following runners, and as you saw, Trent is trying to write us off. He had a good shot which deflected off Bellerin, and he was putting in balls in the box. Robertson is making that run, Van Dijk is trying to find these passes. Salah is being kept quite quiet by his own standards, and I think he had a quiet game by his own standards. Saying that, he had a hand in 2 of the 3 goals, so what does that tell you? But it was to be expected. Other than that, it is what it is, man. Like I said, we've just got to offer something in an attacking sense. We're crying out for someone to just either Lacazette to just hold on to the ball, or one of our attacking players just to have a little dribble, just to hold on to it and just show Liverpool what we're on. Just a bit of confidence to the rest of the team. I think that was lacking. It became a case very early on of a case of when, not if, Liverpool would score. I think every Arsenal fan or every football fan who watched that game could see that Liverpool were going to score. You just didn't think it would be Arsenal before them. That's the one thing, you know. It's another game, you know, Liverpool kept a clean sheet against Chelsea. They didn't keep it against us. I think 2 of their 3 games, they've not kept a clean sheet. That's the one thing you've given them. Klopp can go and say, boy, you might have played well against them, but you never kept a clean sheet, brothers. You know, you're not getting your bonus or something. You know, it was, apart from that little Sunday League moment when we went 1-0 ahead, it was good. But like I said, Liverpool goal was inevitable, and Mane's goal against Mane scoring against Arsenal is even more inevitable, if that even makes sense. We made his goal, you know. Mane won't score an easier goal, as cliche as it is. We made it. Xhaka and Luiz, there's 2 of you. Sort it out, win the ball. If you're gonna bring a man down so it's tactical and the game is dead. You're not doing that. Tierney's body positioning is poor, and obviously when Salah cuts in, he can't bring him down, or it's a red card and probably a penalty, if not a definite penalty. You know, so the 3 defenders have done absolutely shocking for that. Leno, I did think Leno could have saved it better. Again, I'll give Leno the courtesy of watching the game again, because I'm going back off memory, but I did think he could have done better. And we're not following runners as well in the build-up to this goal. It's a poor goal to concede, you know. It's out of nothing, you know. Even after that, we've conceded 2 goals in about 5 minutes. So again, game management, people. When Robertson makes up for his mistake within his half, he just simply gets forward and continues his run. Again, poor play, poor defence inconvincingly. We go into half-time barely holding on to the lead, you know. That's the only benefit. We took the lead and lost it, you know. That little move was the only benefit. We've been toothless. We've been lacking intent. Our game management's been poor. We've just never looked like we're up for a game of football today, simple as. And that's why I'm more annoyed, not the result. I want to see man that look like they're in for a fight. Let Liverpool have to work hard. Liverpool's defenders can hang, like I said in the last vid, they can hang those kits back up and use them on Thursday, if not Saturday, if Van Dijk's playing. I don't think Van Dijk had to dirty up his shorts at all. If anything, I don't think he has to clean his boots, but his boots are probably dirty because he's spraying them passes, and Anfield looks like a carpet, so I can't imagine there's any grass stains. Liverpool, we've given Liverpool the best half within the context. They've shot themselves in the foot conceding that dumb goal, but other than that, it's been near enough perfect from them. We've put up no fight or tried to ask questions of Alisson. They've had large sustained periods of pressures. You know, they've conceded a dumb goal and not scored more goals. That's the only thing, you know. It's dumb because that's how football works, but that's the only thing you could ask for. And they patterned it up before half-time. At half-time, it needs to be a big team talk between Arteta. I'm not going to lie, I saw a bit of a better bounce back in the second half, but again, it's all too late, you know. After the first 10-15, we started to go back into old habits, and Liverpool showed their experience. Not just in terms of the players and winning the leagues and stuff, but they didn't force it. They managed the game, you know. Players stopped flying forward as much. They just played football and played into our hands and waited for us to get frustrated and used that to exploit the spaces like they did for the 3rd goal. The 3rd goal towards the end of the game, you know, when Jota came on, he was scoring. First time round, I did think there was a bit of a handball, but we're chasing shadows. It's a poor defensive header from Luiz. It just sums up our day, really. Just a bit like the Aubameyang chance where he tried to pass it for Eddie and it went out for a corner. It just sums up our day, you know. The big part for me was integrity, leaving this ground, whether we won, lost or draw, knowing that we gave Liverpool a hard game or Liverpool gave us a hard game and we reacted well, and that's it. You know, and I wasn't there. I spoke about cheap goals. I used Manchester City where we lost 3-0 as the best example of, you know, their quality players. There's not many teams those players won't walk into. But did we concede them goals because they're quality players, or did we hand them to them? It's a bit like today, you know. Salah, you know, Salah didn't even score, apologies. Obviously, who scored? Jota, Robertson, and Mane. Yeah, did we give Mane his goal because he's a quality individual or because of cheap mistakes? You know, we didn't make Mane have to do a mad thing and show why he's a Premier League quality player and Liverpool fans love him so much. We played into their hands. And it's back to the drawing board. These days happen. Like I said, whether we won, lost or draw, even though I didn't want to lose in these circumstances, it shouldn't impact us too tough. The one thing I love about football is it's a harsh reality. You know, you can hide sometimes when we're winning games we're not supposed to, and you know we're playing Fulham, and you know there's a positive factor of Arteta and some other factors. Sooner or later the bubble pops, and we know our level is not the level of top 4. So the players better effing wake up and realise how hard this task is. I don't want to hear players talking about winning titles and they want to win league titles and all of these things in the press. I want to see you looking like you want to move towards that on the pitch. Because the talking is expensive. That's why many men just the doing is expensive. That's why most people talk. Everyone, if talking was a currency, everybody's got it. Doing is expensive. You know, doing is a black card. Not many Arsenal players in this metaphor, you know, because they all probably have black cards, would have black cards. We shot ourselves in the foot. Liverpool deserved their 3 points, but it's a bittersweet one because for me it was about the integrity of the performance and cheap goals. You didn't make Liverpool work. The only inconvenience you've given Liverpool and Klopp's men, there's no clean sheet. That's it. That's just something. That's it. But they can go to bed, whatever in it. For Arsenal, it's frustrating. You know, Lacazette got his goal, and I think Maitland-Niles did okay, but it just weren't good enough in the balance of things. On that note, though, I've got nothing more to add, man. DG, I'm out.